Sam is asking, do you recommend finding out comps via real estate agent in the targeted county before mailing out letters to be precise of prices per acre to make a proper judgment of what to offer? Lots of people are refusing my 25% offer. Okay, good question, Sam. I mean, you can talk to a real estate professional. I have found though that I know I'm not going to use the real estate professional. So for one, I don't really like to do that just because I know that I'm not planning to work with them. So, I'm wasting their time. However, if you say I'll consider, using your services, for a quick opinion, I mean, they want to serve, they want to help you, so probably so. If you're not getting any response on your 25% offer, you may be in an area that's too hot. I actually would consider looking in a different area, maybe go a little farther out geographically from where those properties are, and see if that helps. But usually if they're refusing your offer, it's because they know the value of their property, because it's a hot area. Good morning, Brittany. Hello, Billy Sheffield. Linford Addo says, where do you see land investing in the future? I see it continuing the way that it is. The land is probably about 6 months behind housing. So you can just watch the housing market and see. I know a lot of people are worried because of all the inflation right now, that the market's at its peak, it's going to crash. But I don't really believe that. I do think that this year the Fed's going to raise the interest rates to try to slow down the economy. And I think that's fine, but I don't think that's going to hurt us, because we're dealing in the land investing, and specifically what I'm doing with rural land investing. People are realizing that they don't need to live in the city anymore. They want to spread out. They want more room. They want more of a community lifestyle. And as long as they have the internet and virtual mailbox, they're in business. And I think if they're raising kids, they want their kids to be able to play outside. I know a lot of people worry that kids are getting too addicted to their device. And anyway, so I think land investing is going to still be strong in the future, and especially this year, and I think so even next year. And even when the economy slows down, which is by design, I still think there's a market for land investing. I really do. So I hope that helps. And where do I see it going, Linford? I see it going nowhere. I see it staying like it is, because there's only a finite amount of land, and it's not being built. So I think there will always be business in land. And even if the rural areas, cool off, infill lots people will always need a place to live, and people will always want a newer home. So there'll always be a market for land. Sam says, I'm offering as high as 40% of market retail in hot markets. I would probably go to 50% in a really hot market. And I'm thinking more of like infill lots, because I'm doing rural, and that's not inside of a hot market usually. It's usually on the outskirts. Hey, Nick Allen. Yes, I'm giving some free advice. Take it for what you paid for it. Let's see. Okay. Adolfo says land price is about 10 to 25%. Yeah, I've seen it between 10. And then I would, like, if it's an infill lot or a really hot area, I would probably, if I know a builder paid, like, say 100,000, I might go in at 50% and make an offer for 50,000. All right. Great questions. So I went to a dinner party the other night, and I met a bunch of new people. And one guy asked about what I do for a living. So I said, I'm a real estate investor. And of course, he assumed I meant houses, right? I have found this to be true almost universally outside of my investing circles. When I tell someone I'm a real estate investor, most of them are thinking about houses or maybe, apartments. But very few people know about land or have even considered land. And there's just not a lot of people really doing this. So, like, you see a lot of people in the foreclosure market or maybe in tax sales. And And there's not a lot of people in this niche of land. So this guy was fascinated when I explained to him that I don't focus on real estate strategies like do it yourself or fix and flip. I do love watching Chip and Joanna though, because it's fun to see what they can do with an ugly house, but that's just my entertainment. When I'm ready to make money, I work in a gap in real estate where there's almost no competition, where there's no hassles. I don't deal with renters and I never have to set foot on the land. But, because land's not filling in it. So this guy at the dinner party said he's always been interested in getting into real estate, but he operates a successful business and just doesn't have time or even really the know-how. But what he said next really struck me. He said it seems such an unreachable goal because you have to have a lot of money to get into real estate. And so when I told him that, compared to him starting his business from scratch, which has taken him years to build up, or I said, compared to buying an already established business like a franchise, he could get into real estate for a pretty low cost just by flipping land, and he could have success pretty quick. My business partner was able to quit his job after just 6 months, and he was already in the six figures at his other job. So he was able to replace his income that fast, and I was sharing that with him. But also, flipping land works in a 100% virtual environment, and all you need is an internet connection and a virtual mailbox. It works a lot like house flipping, only without the hassles of the house. And just like flipping houses, the key is finding a motivated seller in a desirable area. So if you want to know about real estate, that works without houses or without hassles, and you want to learn about how I'm averaging $35,000 per deal without any real competition, check out my training at landflipping101.com/course, or reach out to me on Facebook in the Land Flipping 101 public Facebook group, or by email at chris@landflipping101.com. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.